What is up, everybody? Welcome to our countdown of the most inadequate drivers behind the wheel who caused a disaster. We're talking about those drivers who make you question how they ever got a license in the first place. From distracted texters to reckless teenagers, we've got it all. Buckle up because this is going to be a wild ride. We're going to show you some of the craziest driving fails ever caught on camera. You won't believe some of the things these people do behind the wheel. This first one is insane. Picture this, you're cruising down the road, not a care in the world. Suddenly, BAM! A car comes out of nowhere, slamming into multiple cars in front of you. What happened? Oh, the driver was too busy texting to notice the red light. People, put down your phones. Your life and the lives of others are at stake. It's not worth it to risk everything for a text message. This accident caused a massive pileup, and it's a miracle that no one was seriously injured. But it could have been so much worse. Okay, get this. We've got a driver who thinks they're Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious. This speed demon is weaving through traffic, pushing their car to the limit. But guess what? This ain't a movie set. Real life has consequences. And in this case, the consequence is a catastrophic crash. This driver's need for speed ended up costing them everything. Their car was totaled, and they're lucky to be alive. Remember, folks, speed limits are there for a reason. This story is heartbreaking. We've got a driver who thought they were invincible after a night out with friends. One too many drinks clouded their judgment and they got behind the wheel. But alcohol and driving don't mix. Ever. This driver's decision to drink and drive had tragic consequences. Their car swerved off the road, crashing into a tree. The driver didn't survive. This is a stark reminder that drinking and driving is never worth the risk. It's a decision that can cost lives, including your own. Chapter 4. The Road Rager. You won't believe this one. This driver let their anger get the best of them. Maybe someone cut them off, or maybe they were just having a bad day. Whatever the reason, their rage boiled over, and they turned into a road-raging maniac. They were tailgating, honking their horn, and making dangerous maneuvers. It's like they completely lost their minds. This driver's road rage incident could have easily turned deadly. They were putting themselves and everyone else on the road in danger. Remember, folks, road rage is never the answer. Chapter 5. The Sleepy Driver. This one is scary because it could happen to anyone. We've all been there, tired after a long day, struggling to keep our eyes open, but this driver took it too far. They were driving late at night, exhausted from a long trip. Their eyelids started to get heavy and their head began to nod. And then, it happened. They dozed off at the wheel. The car drifted into the next lane, colliding head-on with an oncoming vehicle. This driver's decision to drive while drowsy had disastrous consequences. Chapter 6. The Reckless Teen. Teenagers and driving, it's a recipe for disaster sometimes. The thrill of the open road, the sense of freedom, and the rush of adrenaline can often cloud their judgment. Many young drivers feel invincible, thinking that nothing bad could ever happen to them. They underestimate the dangers and overestimate their abilities, leading to risky behaviors behind the wheel. This young driver was so excited to have their newfound freedom behind the wheel. The car represented more than just a mode of transportation. It was a symbol of independence and adulthood. They could go wherever they wanted, whenever they wanted, without having to rely on anyone else. The excitement was palpable, and they couldn't wait to show off their driving skills to their friends. But they were also inexperienced and overconfident. They had only recently passed their driving test and had little real-world experience. They didn't fully understand the complexities and responsibilities that come with driving. Their overconfidence made them take unnecessary risks, thinking they could handle any situation that came their way. They thought they could handle anything, but they were in for a rude awakening. The road is unpredictable, and even the most experienced drivers can find themselves in challenging situations. For this young driver, their lack of experience and overconfidence would soon lead to a dangerous and costly mistake. This reckless teen was speeding down a residential street, showing off for their friends. The thrill of the moment made them forget about the potential consequences. They ignored speed limits and traffic signs, thinking that nothing could go wrong. But speeding in a residential area is particularly dangerous, as it puts not only the driver at risk, but also pedestrians and other road users. They lost control of the car, crashing into a parked car. The sudden loss of control was a harsh reminder of the dangers of reckless driving. The impact was severe, and the sound of the crash echoed through the neighborhood. In that moment, the reality of their actions hit them hard. The car was totaled, and the teen driver was lucky to escape with minor injuries. The wreckage was a stark reminder of how quickly things can go wrong. The driver was shaken but grateful to be alive. It was a painful lesson learned the hard way, but it could have been much worse. This is a reminder that driving is a privilege, not a right. It's a responsibility that should be taken seriously. Every time you get behind the wheel, you're not just responsible for your own safety but also for the safety of everyone around you. Reckless driving can have serious consequences, and it's important to always drive with caution and respect for the rules of the road. Chapter 7. This one is sad. This elderly driver was once a skilled and confident driver, but as they got older, their cognitive abilities started to decline. They got confused easily, and their reaction time slowed down. One day, this confused elderly driver got behind the wheel of their car. They thought they were driving to the grocery store, but they ended up on the highway, driving the wrong way. They collided head-on with another car, causing a major accident. This driver's story is a reminder that age can take its toll on our driving abilities. Chapter 8. The Inexperienced Driver. This driver had just gotten their license and was excited to hit the road, but they were also nervous and unsure of themselves. And when they found themselves in a challenging driving situation, they panicked. They slammed on the brakes instead of steering out of the way, causing a chain reaction accident behind them. This inexperienced driver's story is a reminder that it takes time and practice to become a skilled and confident driver. Don't be afraid to take it slow and gradually build up your skills. Chapter 9. The Showoff. This driver was all about style over substance. They had a penchant for the extravagant, always choosing the most luxurious and eye-catching vehicles. It wasn't just about getting from point A to point B, it was about making a statement. The roar of the engine, the sleek design, and the envious glances from pedestrians and other drivers fueled their ego. They loved the attention that came with driving a flashy car. Every time they revved the engine or sped past a crowd, they felt a rush of adrenaline. The admiration and sometimes even the jealousy of onlookers were like a drug to them. They thrived on it, constantly seeking new ways to turn heads and be the center of attention, and they were always looking for ways to show off their driving skills. Whether it was performing dangerous stunts or weaving through traffic at high speeds, they wanted to prove that they were the best driver on the road. It wasn't just about the car, it was about their ability to handle it with precision and flair. But their need for attention often clouded their judgment. They would take unnecessary risks, ignoring the potential consequences. Their focus was on the thrill of the moment, not on the safety of themselves or others. This reckless behavior put everyone on the road in danger, but they were too caught up in their own ego to see it. This show-off driver was doing donuts in a crowded parking lot, trying to impress a group of onlookers. The screeching tires and the smell of burning rubber drew a crowd, and for a moment, they were the star of the show. But the thrill of the performance blinded them to the risks they were taking. But they lost control of the car and slammed into a light pole. The impact was sudden and violent, a stark reminder of the dangers of reckless driving. The crowd that had been cheering moments before was now silent, the reality of the situation sinking in. The car was totaled, and the driver was lucky to walk away with just a few bruises. It was a sobering moment, a harsh lesson in the consequences of their actions. The flashy car that had once been a symbol of their status and skill was now a crumpled heap of metal. This is a reminder that driving is not a spectator sport. It's a responsibility that requires focus, respect, and caution. The road is not a stage for showing off, but a shared space where safety should always come first. Let this be a lesson to all drivers. The thrill of the moment is never worth the potential cost. Chapter 10. The Distracted Parent. This one is a tough one. Being a parent is a full-time job, and it comes with its own set of challenges and responsibilities. One of the most critical responsibilities is ensuring the safety of our children, especially when we are behind the wheel. Being a parent is hard work, and it's easy to get distracted when you've got kids in the back seat. The constant demands for attention, the noise, and the occasional fights can make it difficult to focus on driving. It's a common scenario that many parents face daily. But as parents, we have a responsibility to put our children's safety first. This means staying focused on the road, and not letting distractions take over. It's easier said than done, but it's crucial for the safety of everyone in the car. This distracted parent was driving their kids to school when they took their eyes off the road for a split second to break up a fight between their kids. It's a situation that can happen to anyone, but the consequences can be severe. And in that split second, they ran a red light and collided with another car. The impact was sudden and terrifying, a stark reminder of how quickly things can go wrong when we're not fully focused on driving. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured. The family was incredibly lucky, but not everyone is so fortunate in such situations. It's a wake-up call for all parents to be more vigilant and avoid distractions while driving, but it was a close call that could have had devastating consequences. This incident serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of staying focused on the road. As parents, we must always prioritize safety over everything else, ensuring that our children are protected at all times. Outro: stay safe out there. Thanks for watching. Remember to always drive safely and responsibly. Put your phone down, don't drink and drive, and always be aware of your surroundings. Driving is a privilege, not a right, and it's important to take it seriously. We want everyone to stay safe out there on the roads. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. We'll be back with more crazy driving fails soon.